Okay, taking notes on volume of compound shapes, or sometimes called composite shapes. So a compound shape is a shape made up of two or more basic shapes. So rectangles, cones, spheres, cylinders. So you can create an L shape by placing two thin rectangular perpendicular at right angles to each other. So here you can see we have a compound or composite shape. So we're going to be able to find the volume of a shape that is compound or composite. So the first thing we do is we need to divide our shape into the two basic shapes. So first you can see I have this rectangular prism that I'm going to color pink. So sometimes shading them in or highlighting them helps us visualize a little bit better. So there's one shape. I'll use teal for the other. And then we've got the one that's kind of standing on its end. Okay, so this compound shape we can now see is actually two rectangular prisms. So all we want to do is we need to find the volume of each and then add them together. So remember, to find the volume of a rectangular prism, we take the length times the width times the height. Okay, so first let's do this shape. Okay, well we know we have a height of 10. We need to figure out the length and we need to figure out the width. So the length is this right here. Notice this says 12, but we have two different colored shapes that combine to get to the 12. So we need to figure out what is just the side of the blue. So to do that, we know the entire thing is 12, but if you look, only the pink box or rectangular prism is 8. So that means this pink side is 8. So 8 and 4 would give us the 12 that we originally had. So notice I'm marking that out so I don't accidentally use that. 4 plus 8 gave us that total of 12. So I know that my length is 4. Now I need to figure out the width. So remember that this right here is going to be the width. Okay, so this is where I have to figure out how wide is that blue rectangular prism. Well, it's the same width as the pink rectangular prism. The pink prism, you can see that is 2. So that means that my width is 2 because this shape is all the same width and it's the same for the blue. So finding the volume of the rectangular prism that is blue, we have 4 times 2 times 10. So the volume of this is 8 times 10, which is 80 inches cubed. Okay, so remember that's just the blue one. So now we have to figure out what is the volume of my pink rectangular prism. Again, volume is length times width times height. Okay, we already determined that the length was 8, the width was 2. Now we need, oh, you can't see, but right here it says the height is 3. I colored it in, sorry. Okay, so length we said was 8 because it was part of the 12, times the width times the height. The volume of our pink rectangular prism, 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 3 is 48 inches cubed. Okay, so since it is compound, we need a total. So if blue is 80, pink is 48, the total, we're going to take 80 plus 48 for the total compound volume. So we come up with 128, and again, it's volume, so it's inches cubed, or units cubed. So, same as that one. Okay, so again, you divide the shapes into their regular rectangular prisms, cones, whatever they are. Right now we're just doing prisms. Find the volume of each prism separately, and then add the volumes together. So again, dividing them up, coloring them, shading them in is going to make it a little bit easier. Okay, so let's try this example. Here we have the shape. We see it's L-shaped. It could be divided up two different ways. If you really wanted to, you could divide it this way. To bring this down. So you have a pink rectangular prism that's tall and skinny. And then you have this really large box rectangular prism. Or some of you may have visualized it differently and divided it this way. So this time we have two like skinnier rectangular prisms. So we have that one. Let's see if I can find a different blue. Oh, this one doesn't work either. And then you've got this rectangular prism. Okay, so either way, these both are the same shape, so they're going to have the same volume. So it really is just a matter of which way you would like to visualize it and work through it. Okay, so looking at this one, looking at my blue, I have a length of 9, a height, and a width of 2. So the volume of the blue is 9 times 5 times 2. So we get 90 feet cubed. So then looking at the pink, we have a width of 1. Both shapes, if you looked at them maybe this way, you can see they're both the same height. So if the blue one is 5, the pink one is 5. And then here's where we're going to come up with that the pink and blue side together are 3. So how can we figure out the length of just the pink shape? Because remember, together they're 3. Well, if you can remember that the blue width was 2, so if this is 2, this one has to be 1, because 1 plus 2 gave us that 3. And again, I marked that 3 out so I don't accidentally use it. Okay, finding the volume of the pink, we have length times width times height. Those are both 1. Okay, so the volume of the pink is 5. The volume of the blue is 90. So to get the total, we're going to add the two together. And we come up with 95 feet or units cubed. Okay, so I'm going to try it again with this shape because we divided it up differently, just to show you that they do still come out to both be 95 feet cubed. So first let's look at the pink. Okay, we have a length this time of 3. We have a width of 1. This is why for me it's important to color them, because I can see visually the measurements a little bit better. Okay, so the height, remember we said that the height of both shapes, depending on how you turn it, it might help you visualize. If this one is 5, that makes the height of the pink one 5. Okay, so finding the volume of my pink, length times width times height, 15 feet cubed. Okay, so it's going to be different because this one we divided it up differently is a smaller pink rectangle. Okay, so looking at my teal, more kind of green, again we know the height, we know the width. This time the length is divided up differently. It's not 9 because we have the two different colors. So we know that the pink was 1. So if this is 1, this one has to be 8. Because 1 plus 8 gave us that total of the two colors of 9. Okay, so we have length, which is 8, times width, times height. We come up with 16 times 5 is 80 feet cubed. Okay, so again, because we divide them up differently, their volumes are different, but the total, because they're still the same shape, exactly. So our total here, 15 plus 80, again, we still have 95 feet cubed. Okay, so that is our quick lesson on compound shapes, or also known as composite shapes. So again, the 3 steps: divide them into regular prisms, find the volume of each prism, and then add those volumes together. And what I mean by divide is to split them. Okay, divide or split them into the two colored shapes. You're not actually dividing any numbers. Thank you, and good luck.